Welcome to Baku Tribune. I'm Seymour Mehmedov. Today we are going to discuss the possibility of deploying American bases in Central Asian countries after the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan, the prospects for the development of Afghan-Azerbaijani relations in the context of the Lapis Lazuli transport corridor, as well as the Armenian-Azerbaijan conflict. My guest today is Sher Jan Ahmadzai, Director, Center for Afghanistan Studies, University of Nebraska Omaha. He worked in the Afghan government from 2002 to 2007 in different capacities. His last position was as schedule manager for then President Hamid Karzai. Sher Ahmadzai, thank you for joining me on Baku Tribune. My first question is that the US is considering the possibility of deploying troops withdrawn from Afghanistan in the countries of Central Asia, in particular Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. Is it possible, in your opinion, can Americans return to Central Asia?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, you're right. The United States is withdrawing forces from Afghanistan and that of also in the region. United States did not have any bases in Uzbekistan or Tajikistan or just like in Afghanistan. It did have military presence in Afghanistan. And now, based on the deal United States has signed with Taliban, they are departing and withdrawing all military equipment and forces from Afghanistan. But they might have presence in the region in different shape, maybe in Indian Ocean. However, I don't see prospects of United States coming back to the region as they did in 2001, because the conditions right now and in 2001 are so different. Afghanistan was ruled by Taliban and Al-Qaeda in 2001. The United States went there to remove the government that supported Al-Qaeda that facilitated the attack on the United States. The situation right now is not at that shape. However, I don't foresee any direct threat emanating from the region towards the United States or any forces that would threaten the United States directly. However, there might be some terrorist groups like ISIS or other Al-Qaeda affiliated groups that might have presence in Central Asia. Those threats could possibly be handled by the governments of the countries in Central Asia. I don't foresee a stronger comeback of the United States unless there are evidence that the groups in Central Asia or in Afghanistan are threatening the United States directly. United States is still thinking of preserving its presence in Afghanistan in a different way. It is still looking at counterterrorism efforts at ISIS. More probably that will be handled by its presence in the region, in the Middle East or in Indian Ocean through its warplanes, warships that carry warplanes. And I don't think the United States would come back at a force that came in 2001 back to Afghanistan or the region.
Why are the Americans so keen to place their military bases in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan? What do you think about that?
I don't think United States is really keen to have a strong presence or military bases in Uzbekistan or in Tajikistan. Most reports that have been seen say that the United States does favor any sort of presence, but that does not mean a presence of military bases in Uzbekistan and Tajikistan or Kyrgyzstan. The United States already has very robust relationship with Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and it used to have a base in Kyrgyzstan, Manas base, in a small base in Uzbekistan for a while, but there are no longer any U.S. military bases in Afghanistan, in Uzbekistan or Central Asian countries. I don't think U.S. is keen. I'm reiterating this word because U.S. is not in a favor of escalating any issues with other powers in the region who might see U.S. presence in Uzbekistan or Central Asia a threat to them. U.S. already has very good relationship with Kazakhstan, even at the military level. They have a military delegation going back and forth. They have very good relationship with the Minister of Defense in Kazakhstan, very good presence over there. So I don't think U.S. is very, very keen to have a strong military bases in any of Central Asian countries. Afghanistan is a different matter. If there is a situation that gets worse, the United States might be looking at coming back in a different position and a different strength, not the strength of 2001.
Clearly. According to the Wall Street Journal, the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan may be completed ahead of schedule by July. What forces can take the place of the Americans, in your opinion?
Well, let me be clear. If the United States withdraws completely from Afghanistan, there is no other military power to fill in that vacuum created, or if there is any vacuum created by the withdrawal of the United States. Neither Russia nor China nor any regional countries have the power, equipment, and political will to come in and fill that gap because that's so expensive. I believe the United States will continue to work with the Afghan National Security Forces, and they will continue to help them prove to be strong enough to fill in that vacuum that could be created by the withdrawal of U.S. forces. United States and NATO have promised to continue supporting the Afghan National Security Forces and think they will be strong enough to fill in the vacuum. Yes, they are not equivalent of the American forces, but they are strong enough to deter any threats that are from Taliban or from any other security agencies or terrorist groups that could pose threats to the Afghan government or any interest. I think the assistance will continue, but there wouldn't be any other force that could replace the United States in Afghanistan.
Yes. Afghanistan is interested in expanding economic and political cooperation with Azerbaijan. Do you think Baku and Kabul can try to revive the Lapis Lazuli transport project after the pandemic? Will this project be economically viable?
Well, I think absolutely it is economically viable. The study has been done to see how Azerbaijan could pave the way for connection between Afghanistan and Turkey and Eastern Europe in that distance. It is very much viable. It takes around 2 weeks to transport from Afghanistan to Turkey, a hub to Eastern Europe. I think the relationship should continue. The Lapis Lazuli corridor should benefit countries in the region, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, and other countries that come on the path towards Turkey and Eastern Europe. I think there is potential. What I think should be done is more investment in the infrastructure that could facilitate better transportation of equipment and goods from and to Afghanistan through Azerbaijan to Eastern Europe.
As you know, the Second Karabakh War ended with the victory of Azerbaijan. The Azerbaijani side returned most of its lands. At present, official Baku is interested in concluding a peace agreement with Armenia, but Yerevan is still opposed. Do you think the signing of a peace agreement is necessary for Armenia? Should the regional players, Russia, Iran, convince Yerevan of the need for this agreement from the point of view of peace and stability, the development of transport and economic communications in the region?
Well, absolutely. First of all, let me say that I hail from a country that has been at war for the last 40 years. Nobody loves war. Everybody wants to live in peace. Azerbaijan and Armenia have had wars in the past, and the best way to go forward is find a solution to this conflict that has been there historically in a peaceful manner and negotiate a settlement that could benefit the people of both countries. Azerbaijan and Armenia have lost soldiers and civilians in this war. I think there is no plan, there shouldn't be any plan to continue with that and escalate that violence. I think if both countries are not able to come to a conclusion, a peaceful conclusion, the regional powers, especially Russia, can play a very huge role in bringing together both players, and also Turkey, in bringing both players together for a peace settlement that could address the concerns and security interests of both countries in that region. So I hope there is a peace settlement between Azerbaijan and Armenia, and there is no more conflict in the future. I think that needs a revision of the current situation and a historical perspective on the region to see who is where, and I believe that is possible.
Thank you so much for your interesting replies.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.